That's all right. So we've got 45 seconds to go here. Obviously, the M23 men's division. South Africa versus USA. Shaping up to be a... All right, welcome back to the Hobart Aquatic Center. We got a minute 24 before Great Britain under 23 men take on the Turkey under 23 men's in game number 71. It's my understanding I don't think any of these teams have lost, and they're coming to head here. So we're working on that. So I've got the stats being worked beside me, and joining me in the booth once again is Nat Weekend. I'm a long-term Australian player and Tasmanian underwater hockey legend in the sport. Welcome, Nat. Now she's working the stats, trying to do too many things at once. So working with us in the
David,
the cameras.
I'm on.
Welcome, Nat.
Yeah, thank you. So both teams have played 4 games. Turkey have got 4 wins, and Great Britain have only got the 2 wins and 2 losses. So Turkey have got an extremely strong defence, only conceding 1 goal so far. However, Great Britain have scored 25, which is one of the top scores. So they've got a brilliant attack. So this is going to be a really big battle.
It's going to be a battle of who can sustain the pressure longest. In 15 minutes, 2 halves, and we'll see what's going to go on. And we're just about to get underway. We've got the Turks wearing black and the Great Britain's wearing white. And we're about to get underway, Nat. I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a hard battle.
Me too. I actually really enjoy watching the Turkish boys. They're super strong and been keeping it really clean, so it's a nice, fast-flowing game.
And we're underway. Then seeing what the Turks look like. They just beat the British to the puck, and what we have is Great Britain on the left-hand side screaming to the right, and the Turks in the dark going to right to left.
Yeah, it's funny you say dark, David. I'm just looking outside. It's pitch black outside. It's been a long day, and we've still got a couple of hours to go.
Yeah, we got a few more games after this. It looks like we have 3 more games in one set of games, which we've just started here. Another set of men 23s, and in this court we'll have Colombia and Argentina, and then we'll have 2 women's under 19s where we have Australia versus South Africa and New Zealand, US. But the play seems to be bottled up in the side, and both teams, Nat, play a very structured play, but it's actually very narrow in their dimensions, and we'll see who can come out front. But at the moment, the Brits are putting a lot of pressure on that back line of the Turkish.
We've got a lovely, it's a huge court. It's the biggest court you can have, 15 metres by 25, and it'd be nice to see them using that. There's a terrific drive from the Turkish. Yeah, with I think it was 2 Turks and 1 Great Britain player. So that Great Britain player had his work cut out for him. And I think it was number 4. Number 4 scored with number 11 supporting. So well done, Amir, and good support from Koskin.
Yeah, I think the goal, Nat, sorry to say, was given to number 11 in this case. But it was good support. But that was the referee's call, who are right there in the thick of the action. And Koskin has put the Turks 1 goal ahead of the Brits in less than 2 minutes.
Getting ready to start again. Seeing who's going to be bursting out to get that puck first. A really fast swim from the Turks. But it's like hitting a brick wall, hitting Great Britain. So they've just come around the outside, which is wise. Really quick transition, David. That was extremely fast to get it up.
That was, and I think they've exposed a pretty good weakness in the British defence. That's twice they've made an onslaught into there, and they've actually went through. But the referees right on the play are looking at gloving against the Turks, and they number 2 there, Joe Moss, number 3. I know that's Joe. That's the Turks. I'm looking at Mert from the Turk. Was disappointed, but he said, shook his head and moved back, and he's lined up for the Turks as the Great Britain's look ready to take a free puck here. And let's see if they can move the puck and put some pressure on that Turkish back line.
And it's terrific. We're switching from between 6 cameras, so we should always have a great view of what's happening. It's a little bit tricky when it's on the other side, but look, we can see that great swim. And again, they don't go on their own; they go in pairs. So it was, I think it was number 12.
Yeah, I saw number 12 there, and he was greatly supported again. That
Sina Dimitris.
That Great Britain back line was pretty scores, but our. We've got Sinas Demiris coming up in scoring that goal, but that's put the Great Britain backline pretty square, Nat, and that's pretty exposed on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. The Brits have to get it into their forward line. They've got to put pressure on Turkey's backline because I think their strength is their forward line.
Yeah, and off that strike, a lovely swerve from the center who took the strike, and they've a little swerve around the Brits, but the Brits have taken control of the puck, but unfortunately they gave it straight back to the Turks.
Yeah, a little bit square, I think, David. Like you said, it was a good observation. You can't sit square against teams that are this aggressive and they just penetrate and find the holes.
Yeah, especially with that burst of speed they seemed exposed on the right-hand side when they're attacking. It just really left the Great Britons under fully exposed on that one again. Yeah,
and you'll expect to see a few. Oh, we've got an infringement. So this is time for the Brits to have a few subs. And if you're watching the stream, get online and drop us a chat. Drop us some call-outs. We had some really good reffing. Well, actually, some advice for the commentators in the last game, David.
Really? Okay. Well, looks like number 2 from the Turkish team has been asked to sit out again. That's Kuskin. Unfortunately, I don't know what sure he was kicked out for, but the Brits will have an advantage playing one player up, and the Turks will have to defend. And let's see if the Brits can actually put the pressure on that I've seen in other games, and let's see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, one player down, it really puts a lot of pressure on the team, but it also makes you lift. And it's amazing how many teams can score when they've just 5 players in the water. Holding it in the corner here, they have to be careful that it's not called unsportsmanlike behaviour. So if you're coming in as a second or third player, you've got to at least make an attempt to bring it off.
Yeah, we had number 3, David Bruce, driving in there and fully supported by Billy Starfield from the Great Britons, and they're rotating pretty strongly. As it looked like their captain, I think that was Billy Sufford. Joe Moss, was it? Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Oh.
Yeah, number 8 having a go here. Adam Coote there in rotating, taking his turn. And you can see number 4 there, Rupert Ironside, looking for the spill. And the Turkeys are just quite content to take it in 11, the back corner, Nat.
Koskin and between Mert and Koskin and number 13 and the other Mert, they're just rotating it through. So we'll see what the umpires make of this. The Brits are getting in there to break it up. It's just making it so difficult. There's no space, nowhere to go.
It looks like referee Robert Patrick's having a quick discussion with the referee, and he's calling a warning.
We do like Robbie's ponytail too, David. I don't think many of the refs are rocking the ponytail.
Yeah, he hasn't got it tied up. He's hanging it free and loose there, Nat. I can't say I admire it, but I can't seem to grow that long length of hair. But
bring it
good on Robbie.
Yeah, any facial hair or hair action, always welcome, especially for the refs.
So the Great Britons had a free puck, but they lost it instantaneously to a strong Turkish line. But hold on a second, we've got a call, we got a break. So obviously Robbie saw the fact that they broke the line, and I guess that's why they got straight onto that puck straight away and turned it in offense net.
Now all players back in the water. So resetting, it looks like they're setting up, right in front of goals. It's tough. They'll hit a brick wall of Turks.
Yeah, they're all on the bottom net, and they're solidly sitting there waiting for the advancement of the Great Britain team, and they're defending it by, there we go again, they're taking it out that right-hand side, and they must have some really quick players on that side, Nat.
Yeah, I think so. I was just looking at the fins that these boys are wearing. One of our sponsors are Najee, but I think a lot of these guys are wearing the Brias and the longer fins, although we've got to love the Najees. They're unbreakable.
Yeah, I think it's just simply that the Brea fins, you have to have the leg strength to do it. But given the size of these Turkish players, they certainly can push those fins, and I guarantee they probably got the stiffest ones they make.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I've seen the boys' legs when they're warming up on the side, David, and I think they've got the stamina to rock those fins for the whole tournament.
Yeah, but it's a good play on the Great Britons. They're pinning them down into each of the corners. We had a couple of minutes on this side of the court, and now they're on the other side of the court, and the Brits are trying to contain them and look for the opportunity to bring the puck out. And we got a bit of a obstruction call against the Great Britons, and Chris Meeks from New Zealand is indicating probably an earlier call on one of the other refs, gloving here, but still it looks like the Great Britons are being asked to back up, and the Turks get a bit of relief from their corner play.
Yeah, well, we're nearly 10 minutes into play, and the first 2 goals were scored pretty quickly. Great Britain, well done. Managed to resist against that push now. Let's see if you can turn it around and get your forwards involved in the action.
Yeah, a couple of chats coming through. Emir Sinka, I'm sorry I can't understand the Turkish. I think it probably is, but hello up there in Turkey, and hope you're enjoying the live streaming. And also Henry HK007, hi there yourself. Yeah, you're right. It is a tough start for the GBs, but it's 2 down, and looks like, unfortunately, number 5 for the Great Britain's Billy Safford is being asked to remove himself from the game for some sort of unsportsmanlike behavior, and he's going to have a sit. And I think it was for 2 minutes, Nat.
Oh, 2 minutes in the naughty chair, that puts a lot of pressure on the players back in the water. He wants to get himself back in there and make up for the lost time.
Yeah, and straight away that the Turkish team has responded to that, trying to drive the puck into some open space and capitalize on the numbers that they have advantage of for at least for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, and we've noticed with the Turkish under-23s, they're the only team from Turkey, I think, at this championships.
No,
They had the girls and the under-23s last in Spain. And they did well. I suppose they're a bit old now and maybe gone into the elites. So Turkey, it'd be nice to see you get your under-19 girls and boys together, and you must have a pretty strong competition because your your under-23s and your men's are doing so well.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. I'm sorry, Nat. That's absolutely right. And I think we've seen it over the years where a lot of effort gets put into the junior development. Again, I still think the Turkeys are at their beginning of their career, and it'll take them a little while to establish that. I think we in Hobart take a lot for granted of all the work a lot of the Tasmanians did early on to get a large number of juniors streaming coming through, and that's really paying off in the senior ranks. And it does go through ebbs and droughts, but I think the Turkish will take a little bit, and the popularity of the sport, because I remember watching the live streaming when they arrived back in after their silver medal, and they had a crowd of about 150 people welcoming them home, and they're all wearing the medals, and it was a really emotional time for a lot of players in that, because they did so well at the Worlds. And I know the junior team, when they won, were equally well as supported when they arrived back home. But
that's fantastic. Really good. And as you know, when you've got a good junior competition, that's where you get your volunteers from. And I think a lot of our volunteers here today are parents and friends of players. And yeah, you definitely you get a good strong volunteer base from your junior competition. So it's a win-win for the whole sport.
Yeah, absolutely. You see parents out on the deck running around, making sure everyone finds a seat, and we see the young kids helping with the switching here. We got James, I think he's just had his last juniors in Spain, but he's here doing the switching, and his brother did a bit of the graphics to go with it. So it's always good to rely on that sort of things, and I don't think we could put on something like that without their help. And
no.
The play's right up against the Great Britain thing. It looks like the puck's in the tray, but waiting for some referee signals, and Robbie is definitely saying it was a gloved-in situation, so it's a no goal against the Turk, and they'll be disappointed again, Nat.
Yeah, and good that look, if mistakes have been made by the Turkish, that's an indication that the Brits are putting on a lot of pressure and not making it easy for them. So yeah, they've obviously getting their defence working a little bit better, and switching it around a little bit. I think they're making the Turks really work for it. They've actually stemmed that momentum.
Yeah, Nat, if I've been drawing some quick stats in my head. I love the stats, but the game's been played probably in both halves as equally, and we still got about 3 minutes to go. And again, the Turkish have taken it into the GB corner, and it's that
same side, David. That same side. They're attacking that same side. When it comes over to this side, the Brits seem to be able to clear it a little bit more easily.
Yeah. So I guess that side's favouring the Turkish in their drive, and vice versa. The other side when the Brits. And I'll be looking to see, hopefully they use the rest of the 15-meter width pool here. But I know these two teams play a strategy where they actually run a narrow and keep that puck in a sort of I'll describe it as a box formation, but it's not necessarily a box. But they like to play narrow, support each other in the narrow, and keep a watchful guard on the people trying to drive it up. But the Brits are pushing them back into their end and having a bit of a run at it.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a head-bashing kind of hockey when you play that corridor. And And you've got to be careful because that's when you'll get players thrown out. There's not enough room. It's very easy to barge or to obstruct. We've got the space and the tiles are nice and slick. So if you do get a breakaway, you can be away. There's no resistance. I think it's wise to take the bit between the teeth and open the game up.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Nat. One simple mistake, and I think we've seen probably two mistakes by the Great British in allowing the Turks to get outside that corridor, and they were exposed, and their defense was a bit too square, and the Turks ran it home.
Yeah, it was interesting. We've got what we got? Number I can't quite see. Number 2. Yeah. Koskin Yagits 18. It's a bit hard. He's got the tattoo on the shoulder there. I'm not quite sure where you put your number. Yeah, obviously you put it on your forearm.
And we look like we have another one joining him in the side of the bin. I'm not sure if the referees had a bit of discussion on that, so they're 2 down. Yeah, we're getting. It's sort of a thing that's happening. The Turkish guys, because they play so aggressive and so fierce, they get themselves into bad situations, and the referees aren't going to tolerate that.
No, I don't know.
And again, it's consistent because I've seen different refs, Nat.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because they might be giving a bit of lip as well, not liking the calls. And but the captain's the only one allowed to talk to the ref, and the refs here will not take any lip at all. They're pretty experienced guys, 3 in the water, and they know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely, Nat. But I think they were just sort of trying to get a real good understanding of why they were thinking. And it looks like the Turkish are trying to kill the time by keeping the puck in the corner. And the referee there is trying to signal what's going on. And I'm not sure he's got the attention of the chief referee. He's got 1 minute on given to someone, and it looks like number 13.
So Mert Dogan, perhaps.
I'm not sure who he's actually signaling to. No, it's number 5 for the Turkish, and that will be the 3rd player in the box.
Oh no, but they're throwing someone else out. They've actually.
Oh, they're back to full strength. Oh no, there's another one.
Yeah, but they didn't. They've just anyone's just jumped out, not the guy that I think was supposed to.
Yeah, a very good timeout called by the Turkish because he needs to regroup his team because he's only got 3 in the water.
Absolutely.
And he's got 3 sitting in the sin bin, and I'm afraid to say now it's a very common occurrence in the Turkish. If we look at the stats, I'll be interested to see those at the end of the day during the Glory Day show, where see how many kickouts we have, and I'm sure the Turks would have taken the lead in that sort of event. Not happily. I don't think they're happy about sitting on the bin, but
no, Amir in the chair. Looks like the 2 other players are just about ready to hop in. They were sent out at the same time. So the Brits, they've got to go hard, fast, get it in there, convert it, and that's 0-2. The door is well and truly open.
Yeah, I must say, I would say that the Turks are well versed in this because in the World Championships in South Africa, their senior men teams found themselves short a few players in the pool then, and once again we're seeing their 6-on-3 onslaught, and funny enough, it's Great Britain versus the Turks, Nat.
Yes, it was too. I was there, and I had goosebumps on goosebumps in that game, in that prelim final. Well, pretty swift clearance, and Wise, of course, they're going to take it over to the sub bench, hold it in the corner.
Yeah, number 12 there, seen him make sure he grabbed the puck, but the refs have seen something else here, and they called it. But he grabbed that puck and swam it in there ferociously. They're back up to, back to 5 players, and we've got the referees calling. He's looking for number 11. I'm not sure if he's looking for the other Koskin, but he's sending number. Yeah, no, it's another one. He's going.
Koskin, Orkan Vural.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the Turkish coach. Kadar is actually thinking at the moment. He's had a number of games at this level, and he has most of his players sitting on the side, and he must be extremely disappointed by that occurring, and he's been trying to get it fixed up, and if he hasn't, I think he should get straight away and get this fixed up, because come final time, that's just not going to last against this top level teams.
That's right. And look, we've got a heap of people on the live chat. Thanks for all your comments. One of the comments, admin, could you please give permission for past videos to the website? I think you can just download them straight from convert the files from YouTube, so they're free and they're up on the CMAS. If you search for CMAS 4th and then look for your game number, you should be able to find those games.
Yeah, look on the draw. The numbers are there. I got another call in for, let's see, Harry Bond. I'm not sure where Harry is actually playing, but I don't know where Harry Bond is there, mate. So maybe you have the right game. You might want to check it.
Commercial side. Yeah, I can see what you're trying to do there, Sir Can. You're wanting to put one of the games on your commercial website. I think if you just convert that game. Okay. Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Ah, right. Okay. Oh, well, sir, can leave it with us. We'll talk with our coordinator.
So we entered half-time, and it's a fierce battle in there, Nat. It's 2-0 for the Turks. I thought they came out very strong in that half, and with those 2 wide goals, and the Brits have adjusted for that, and it's sort of a contest in the middle of the pool at the moment.
It is, and when they get their legs, the Turks are fast and hard to stop. So the Brits need to be doing something in the middle of the pool to stop that from happening. It's just too hard to chase down 2 Turks on 1 Brit, and that's what was, I think, happened in both goals.
That's right, and I think the coach of the Turkish team needs to get in there and have some words to his team to settle down. Let's play our game of hockey, and let's not go over the top, overreach, and then we'll probably spend less time on sitting on the sin side. And I'm sure the Great Britain team coach Graham Fletcher is sitting there laying down the law and saying, guys, come on, let's capitalize on these opportunities so we can actually make shit happen here.
Exciting game, 0-2. Terrific scoreline. I mean, it's anyone's game. From watching the game, it looked like the Turks had a little bit more of the drive, but the Brits obviously had good possession. Being a fly on the wall for that discussion from the coach. I don't know why we've got a player with a black cap in there, David.
I think he's one of the subs. He just passed a energy gel or a shot into the player because obviously it's late in the day, Nat, as you said. It's what time is it? 6:10 here in Hobart.
And if you look, David, look on the left-hand side of the screen. If we can just switch to the above camera. I don't know which team's warming up there, but what a spectacle there on the left, doing the push-ups before the game.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, who do we got there going on there?
Is it France?
No, it's the Canadian under-23 boys who are due up against the Australians.
I love watching all the different warm-ups from the team.
We got 3 Turks in the water. We got number 2, Kotskin, number 6, Sadine, number 5, Ismail, and they're a lot of responsibility on them. They got to spend probably maybe about 30, 40 seconds defending against an onslaught of a strong British team in there. He's very quick off the mark.
My word.
Close to the strike, but he's trying to drive it through the middle there, Nat. But the Brits are holding strong, and they're trying to get that puck, and trying to drive it through the 2 the lone Turk defenders. One of the defenders got big, and so the Turks are back to 4 players with
great possession, great clearance, really good. Just stop that flow, stop that momentum. Took it to the wall and didn't flick it forward because there's no one going to be forward of him.
Absolutely.
He's got to hold it, keep it possessed, and wait for the backup.
Yeah, smart play. And as you can see, number 13, Mert is actually holding onto the puck in the corner, but the refs have called up. They've obviously seen something,
gloving.
Not sure what's going on. Gloving against the Brits, so it was a disadvantage to them. And number 7 of the Turk, Amat, is getting ready to come in, and I'm sure he'll be allowed to get back in as soon as the Turks touch the puck, and I'm sure that 4 players in the Turk squad will be very thankful they get that 5th player back in, and they can actually get on and play some attacking game rather than just wasting some time, so they get some strength back.
Yeah, look, these refs really have to have their wits about them. They've been at the pool all day, so we're looking at we're looking at 9 hours so far, and very well fed, by the way, by Wing & Co. Thanks very much for them for supporting us. But however, look, it doesn't matter how much food you've had, being in that water, and this is quite a warm centre, it can be quite sapping. Their concentration levels would be waning, I suppose. And I don't think it's an easy game to ref, Dave.
Oh, it's not, Nat. But I think kudos to the refereeing community. We've got the best referees in the world here at this age group, and they've decided to. And it looks like number 2, Korskin, is going back to the sin bin. I think he's mixing up the substitution bench, and he actually keeps on sitting on the side, unfortunately. And I'm sure he's wondering what the heck am I doing?
I know.
Because I have no clear. He's unsure sure if it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, but they're giving him 2 minutes, and he's wondering why. And he'll be very disappointed by that call, I'm sure, as the coach. But that's it. That's our game. If you continue to do this like they're doing, it escalates, Nat. It goes from 1 minute to 2 minutes. And I'd hate to be the coach who's sort of sitting there watching my players sitting on the side of the tune.
Oh, absolutely. And boys, you don't need to be there in pairs. Seriously, you don't need to keep them company. They just keep on coming, don't they, David? We've had 2 and 3, and then 2 and 3.
Yeah, but number 11, the other Koskin, Orban, I'm sorry for the pronunciation. He's just joining the play to help his teammates get on it. So it's only 6-on-5 for the Turks, and they're nice and strong. But obviously the referees have stopped play, and we with 13 minutes to go, the Turks still have a lead 2-2 up, and they're under pressure from the Great Britain teams, and they're set up. They send some players into some positions to take advantage of their free puck, and they're lining up and see
3 players ahead of the puck, waiting for receive.
Yeah, and there's a 4th one sitting in the goal tray. Now look at him; he's reaching up for the puck, but he has to wait for a long time. Unfortunately, the Turks have defended that well done on the defensive line of the Turks. They didn't let the Great Britain team advance through that. That's the risk when you throw people forward. And
4 players ahead. That's only leaving 2 in defence, and
right.
I like it though. It shows guts, and you've got to take risks in these games. You've got to mix it up and back yourself. And the only way you're going to win games is score goals.
That's absolutely right. It's the numbers at the end of the day, and if you don't take those risks with 12 minutes to go, and goals aren't coming easy, Nat, the Great Britons are having to work really hard for this, and the Turks are working really hard defending and so forth. And again, they're taking control. And what I like about the Turk style of hockey is that when they get the puck, they don't give it away that easy. You have to earn it, and that's what the Brits have to do. They have to go in there and earn that puck, but it's really hard to get that puck back.
Yeah, and look, that comes down to, you can just see that when they're swimming it across, it comes down to experience and confidence. Oh, gee whiz. And there is a lot of experience in the Turks. Oh, look, I'd be a bit number 3 with
number 3, Mert there.
I think you've got to keep it on your stick.
Chris didn't tolerate any of that, but he drove it, and I think the other Great Britain player was well and truly within his right to hold his positioning. Number 2, Joe Moss, he's sitting there, and he's getting a warning, but look, the referee saw it from a different angles. It's their call, Nat. No matter what I think here in the booth doesn't mean squat out in the deck. Robbie and Chris and the other refs are in charge of this game, not me.
Yeah, and they saw it well, called it well. And the refs have been, they're getting to know the players too, and they just weigh everything up, and they recognise certain plays, and they can see that, hey, there is an infringement. That's, it's something that needs to be stopped, and they really are stamping their authority on the game. And it's fair. It's good for both teams.
That's right, and something that probably our viewers don't realize is that every time there's a warning given in something like that, then it's registered here on the deck, and it looks like we've got number 2.
Douglas Samuels.
What's the number there?
Number 11.
Douglas Samuels, as you said, Nat. He's being sent out. Looked like from a bit of an elbow to the Turks to the thing. So
that's frustration. That's totally frustration, and that's not disciplined. You cannot react if you're getting cross and grumpy. You're thinking about the wrong things.
Yeah, and here we go. We got some quicks happening on that side, and it looks like the Great Britons were caught a little bit napping for that on that restart, and we got some strong driving happening by the Turks, and the GB defense is up for it, but I think they're suffering the numbers here because the Turks are all back to full strength,
and that just spilled straight back against Great Britain. And look, this is where you can get pulled for gloving. A right-hander on this wall, the refs will be onto it. They'll be watching. Just got to be so careful. So the refs are conferring, and it looks as though we've got a refs timeout, I think.
Yeah, they are confirming about that goal, and the GB are claiming something, but I know the referees are totally ignoring them. The GB player, I'm sure that's the captain, because he's the only one who's allowed to talk to the referees. Chris and Robbie are sorting this out, and we've got a penalty.
So number 2, I think, Joe Moss is Joe Moss, the one with the heavily strapped shoulder.
Yep. Or is that just stripes? Is that flexi tape to help support his shoulders?
Yeah,
but,
I think
we got a penalty. It's a 2-on-1, so we got 2 Turks against the the lone defender from the Great Britons. And
what would you do against these guys, David? Would you spring out to defend, or would you hold your ground and try and knock it down?
Well, it really depends on my strengths and weaknesses. You gotta think of it. If I had the long reach of some of these players, I probably would spring at it and take the risk that I'd knock it down, because these guys can fire the puck really quick and fast.
I'd be heading out.
And,
they're too strong. Comes. Oh, gee whiz! I think that flick it just didn't come off well at all.
No, and unfortunately, he did knock it down. But as he's curled away, the person who flicked the puck got it. So it looked like number 2, Koskin. He said he served a few times in the penalty box, but no, the bench. No, it's coming in from the score center, and they're saying number 3, Mert Unroll, has scored and taken the Turks to a 3-0 lead with. About 9 minutes and 58 seconds to go, so 10 minutes to go, and GB still have a player down in the bench, so the Turks have an advantage here.
They need him in the water, and he's getting in now. As soon as that puck is touched, he'll come in from the right-hand side and offer that extra assistance. And it was interesting, David, I was watching a game earlier, and one of the Argentinian girls came in from the sub-bench, swam straight across play, came in from the sin bin, swam straight across play and went out and subbed out. Added an extra 30 seconds to her timeout, getting a fresh player in.
Looks like we got a serious injury here on the pool deck. Number 5, Amashay Ismail, is holding his nose. He must have caught something in the face. It could have been a heel, an elbow. The referees are straight onto him and his team there, and they're called a timeout, and he's having the fix. We've
got the blood rule, so if there's any blood, he has to be out of the water.
Yeah, no, so it's good the referees picked that up and they stopped the play, and they're going to restart it with an equal puck. Obviously, there's no advantage played here, but he seems to be shaking it off. It's pretty tough to get a blow in the face and stay there.
It's that initial shock, David, and you don't know. It's interesting. When you see the blood, it always hurts that a little bit more. If there's no blood, you seem to be able to get on with it.
Yeah, that's right. But I tell you what, at the shock of a heel going into my face, I tell you, Nat, I've had it a few times, and I can tell you, a bit stunned for a little while, but we've had a break.
Yeah, you do see a few
equal
tears.
Puck. We had a break, and number 4 Amir had a break on an equal puck. That's a big no-no. You don't break on an equal puck because it's advantage both players, but unfortunately, he's misdone it, and he's sitting down on the bench. He's sort of adjusting things on his guard, but he better sit down.
9 minutes to go. I'm a little bit surprised.
The clock doesn't start until he sits down.
No, that's right, and I'm surprised he's taking his gear off, but something needs adjusting.
Yeah, he looks like he's adjusting his bathers and tying up the string. It must be ferocious in there because he's having to do the water polo thing and tighten those strings a little tighter.
And as you said before in a previous game, David, we don't have the rubber straps on our masks anymore. They're all material straps which hold the mask so much more rigidly in position. And in these kind of games, you're constantly getting brushes to the face, legs and arms, and you'd need it to be sucked onto your face. You don't want it coming off in the game.
Yeah. Well, the lacks in the Great Britain defence there, but good swim back by number 6, Martin John Turner, has deflated the things, and we got another player from the Turks 8. He must have copped something off Martin John's getting the play, and the referees are going straight over to a timeout and looking for the player, and they're asking him for unsportsman number 2 minutes.
So they can nominate someone here to go out if they haven't seen who committed the foul.
Yeah, they're looking up, and no, they're looking at Martin there, and they're saying, "I'm sorry, Martin, you did something bad there. You gave a bit of an elbow in the face to poor, and it wasn't Ishmael this time again. Number 8, sorry, it was Mekhan, and he's paying the price. It looked like he got 2 minutes. That's unsportsmanly, and again,
and I presume he'd be a forward, David. You usually in this situation. Well, it depends how the Brits play it, but usually you keep your three backs in the water and 2 forwards. I'd be surprised if it was any different.
It was a clear breakaway, and it was almost on a clear breakaway. He's been harassed all the way about number 6, so I think he's probably a defender, but I'm probably the Great Britons have substituted their 3-line defenders in the back and put 2 forwards in, not like most traditionally play. But the Turks are all over this. They smell a bit of blood in the water, and they're going straight for that goal tray, and I can't believe it, Nat. There's all 6 players in the Turkish team. They're all in that goal tray.
Yeah,
and sure enough, the goal is in the tray. We got one confirmation from one referee, and there's a goal is scored. And they look like I see a single number 4 who's swimming back, and that's Amar.
And the way they played it, David, they pulled it back behind their bodies, and all the Brits were on the goal side, so they can't get to the puck. And they just worked it around until they found that gap. So it was, really, really tricky to defend against. That's where you need your forwards on the other side plucking it off.
And I agree with Henry HK007. In maybe HK stands for he's in Hong Kong, and Henry for Hong Kong. Thank you for joining in. It is an amazing game. The Turks have a bit of a dominance in the game, but I tell you what, the Great Britons are fighting hard. And again, we have three Turks driving two of the defenders back in the goal, and we got another goal by the Turkish team.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if the Brits didn't call a timeout now. I think they need to use it. They've had a few kick-outs. They need to get in and settle and go back to what they were doing before, because they were really picking up their game.
Yep, and that goal was awarded to number 8, Metcan, and I'm not going to go for the last name, but Metcan, a well-deserved goal. That was a well done, and he was fully supported by Omar there, and it was a great drive. And right you are, Nat, well called. It looks like the Great Britain team has called it, and Coach Flesher, Graham, is out there, and he's dictating some things that he wants the team to pick up on, because obviously they made some minor changes, and they haven't responded to for 2 goals in a short period of time. Granted, they are a player down, and that doesn't help you at all.
No, not at all. But they'll be ready when that player goes in. He'll have his instruction. He knows where to go into play, and that'll just lift their team. So they'll be prepared for that player to come back into the lineup, and hopefully that gives them an extra boost, and they can get it up on the defence of the Turkish team.
Yeah, we got some words coming in from MR, and I assume that's Turkish, and I apologize. You're saying, I can assume just by looking at Go Turkish boys, you're playing really well, and thank you for your posts. Real good for supporting the boys, and I'll make sure they pass on the message, and hopefully you'll get it to them as well.
Yeah, after the game, we always have the opportunity to go poolside with the mics and pick up a few of the players for just a little debrief after the game. So hopefully we get someone from the Turkish team, and I'm sure they'll do a call out and thank you guys for watching and all your comments.
Yeah, I'm sure that support home is always really important for these young players here in Hobart at the Aquatic Center, and it's very good to support, and it's really great initiative that we've got going here. We got all the games are called, and we try to do a little post-interview net. Sometimes the games run a little over, and we only have a small window to do the interviews, and we're all trying to get everyone an opportunity, and it's really good that they're all responding well to this sort of things.
Yeah, it's funny, David. The under-19 kids seem to be that they could talk the leg off a horse. I mean, a few times I just have to sit back and they go for it. They're such confident people, and they're really well spoken. So all you mums and dads, be proud of your kids. They're a great bunch.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether, I know through some of the sports academies and that, one of the things that they're trained on is PR, because obviously a major thing's we missed it looks like, and we can look at that. There looks like about one missing Turk in the play there, but and they were all on the bottom. And
they swept it round straight in through the centre, and the Brits were hard pushed to push it out off that corner.
Yeah, and the call from the bench is number 12, Sinis Dimitris. He's popped it in with, again, it's hard to call one player makes a goal there, not because there was 5 players in that goal tray.
Yeah, that's right. It's a big team effort.
Yeah, it's got to be hard for the Brits, and we're looking at the bench right now, and there's some ejection there. But guys, you're playing a really good game. Come on, cheer up. Heads up. Come on, you're playing well. The score doesn't reflect the fact you just played with a man down, and man down with that numbers on the bottom, you get overwhelmed.
And look, 4 minutes to go, David. It's going to be a long 4 minutes for these guys. But you're right. You've got to play it to the final siren. It's not over until the proverbial sings. So they want to finish this game playing the style of play that they feel happy about, so they're ready and set for the next onslaught tomorrow.
Yeah, I suspect we might see this maybe another rematch in the finals, but with a single round robin, it's only till finals where they'll either meet again or they'll go down a different path, and they might meet in a finals and that. But I'm sure there's couple other teams that will probably want to spoil that party. So number 2 for the Turks Kuskin, and he's everywhere tonight, Nat. He's not only he's in the sin bin, he's on the bottom. He's scoring goals.
There are actually, there are 2 Koskins, but yeah, there's only one number 2.
Thank goodness for that, or I'll be totally confused.
Yeah. And I was talking to one of the New Zealand players in the game before, and they were saying that they're actually, one of the Great Brit players, and they're sharing accommodation with the New Zealanders, David. So that'd be very interesting.
Sharing, or like sharing rooms, or sharing the hotel?
Sharing the hotel, but sharing all the other spaces, I imagine.
Okay.
And most of the other teams are really close to the pool, staying in really nice accommodation. So a lot of the teams can walk to the complex, which is very nice for them.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment there, Nat, because I think one thing that Hobart offers, it says it's not a large city like probably London or Manchester or that for us, or Istanbul or whatever, but the one thing that we do have in our favor is that if you do get some accommodation, you can walk into it. There's a couple of teams staying a little further away, like the Colombians are staying on the Eastern Shore over by the roundabout in Discovery Lodge, so they have a little bit to go, but honestly, it's only a 5-minute drive,
right.
isn't it?
A little bit longer is 5 minutes, isn't it, David? And, you don't have to really plan for the traffic. It's just straight over the Derwent River, over the Tasman Bridge, and you're here. You can actually see the pool from just about every accommodation that there is.
Yeah, and tomorrow everyone's back to work. Nat, I know you're a teacher, so you're on school holidays. How many more weeks do you have left off?
This is my 2nd week, starting on Monday, and more than happy to give it up to underwater hockey. It's I couldn't think of a better way than being part of this competition.
Yeah, like everyone at this complex, we all have an affinity to hockey. And Nat, you and I, we spent many nationals over Christmas period at a different state away from family. We've moved our nationals off Christmas. It looks like number 13, Mert Dugan, is being asked to sit out. It looked like the Turks had sort of cleaned up their play and started playing things, but the referee picked up a sort of a minor infringement with a stick infringement, and he's asked to sit down for 1 minute at the bend. But as I was saying, it's many times we've been on campaigns. I think you were in San Jose when we were there. You guys won that one in San Jose.
No, we didn't actually, David. I think we actually came out. We didn't medal.
You didn't medal in San Jose.
We finished 4th.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
well, my
really
mistake.
Surprising. We had a fairly newish team, a new coach as well, but not that the opposition must have been incredibly strong.
Yeah, those home countries. Yeah, absolutely. And I think back that far. It's a long time, San Jose. If we think that's 1998. I know I coached the Australian teams there, and I had I think we ended up with a bronze medal. We were knocked out by the eventual winners. The runner-ups. The French took that.
And I think you played 3 meters, didn't you? We played. I think the women played 2 and the men played 3 meters in that. And the court had a nice slope to it. So we were uphill and downhill.
Yeah, but the advantage to that court, it was the first time I think we played in a sports court where it wasn't the bumpy tiles as we see here in
they laid a special a new bottom for us for the underwater hockey.
They rolled it up and rolled it out and surrounded it. And it was the first game we actually had rounded corners. They weren't square.
That's right. And you could play up the wall a certain amount before back into play.
That's right. And it looks like the Turkish team once again is maybe they're getting a bit tired when they late in the games they're sending another 2. There's another 2 players in the sin bin, and number 13 Mert, who was sent out earlier, looks like he's getting ready to get back in. And the Turkish team is taking their time out. I don't know if that's an omen, but they're all sitting by the sin bin.
Yeah, things have changed, David. All those Worlds campaigns we did in the 90s from France, New Zealand, South Africa, 96 and 98 in San Jose. You wouldn't be side subbing. We had to get right out of the water, David.
Yeah, absolutely, end subbing. And that was something I remember in the 2000 Worlds in Hobart. We had this big deck on the end, and the starting blocks, as you see in the boons there from that lovely shot from our above the pool camera, weren't there, and that's where you were subbing from. And as I said earlier, to some of that final we played against the French, a fierce game. Most of the time I felt like we were playing 6-on-10 because the subbing the French had was regimental. They get through a play, they pop straight out, and the sub would be on the other end of the line and jump in. I think an advent for our game is this side subbing. And
it's great. No more space blankets, David. Can you remember the time of space blankets? You'd be shivering on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is I don't think we're allowed to play any more outdoor tournaments. I think Stellenbosch was the last time
that
we can play outdoor tournaments, given the unprecedented temperature in Stellenbosch. It was really cold in the pool.
Yeah, I think it was unseasonal. I think it was a surprise for them, for the organisers. I don't think they were expecting that week of cold weather.
That's right, and I was commentating earlier with Jaime, and he said they have such a drought in the pool's actually closed at the moment because they can't fill it. There's not enough water around.
Wow.
And can't imagine that in Hobart. We have lots of rain. Unfortunately, it's all frozen at the top of the mountain, but here we go with about 10 seconds to go in this game. Nat and the Turks have definitely taken this game, and they're going to try to put the last play of the game, even with down one player, and they're certainly strong with disadvantage in their numbers.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was an easy campaign, this game, for the Turks. I think it's been hard work all the way. A lot of stop-starts, which, slows the rhythm down a little bit. But, no, it's been a tough game, and we've got full time.
Full-time call, then at the end of the game, 6-0 for Turkish in the Turkish flavor. And they remain undefeated in this tournament, the defending champions. It's really good. I'll try to go on the deck and see if we can get anyone to talk to. Nat, thank you again,
David. Nice. I love the commentary gig with you, David. You keep it moving really well. So I don't know if we've had anyone from the Turkish team come up today for an interview. So we'll see if we can get someone come over to David, and that'll be streamed as well. We've got the cameras all lined up, ready to go. So in the other court, court number 2, we just had South Africa play United States, and the final score was 7-2 for South Africa. So another tight game. The scoreline, even though 7-2 or 0-6, sometimes doesn't reflect how close the game actually was. So like David said, we've got 3 more games to go tonight. It's a big day, 12 hours at the pool today, and we've got one more 12-hour day coming on Tuesday. And all right, so Nat Wickham saying goodbye for the evening and crossing to Dave in about 10-15 seconds.
Apologies, everyone. We were unable to get one of the players for an interview, so this is us signing off for this game. And stay tuned. We've got more great hockey coming up in just a second.